let's just help each other be better fucking humans. Let's not go about our day with judgment and criticism for every single thing we see, hear, or do.
Welcome to the JD Remedy.
Hey guys, thank you so much for coming back and listening to my podcast / YouTube, wherever you guys are watching this. This is the first time I'm going to film myself doing a podcast. That way, if you prefer to watch rather than listen, no sexual puns intended, then you have options. I'm all about options and just giving variety to you guys. So thank you so much for coming back and tuning into another episode. I'm out of breath already. Guys, I need to do more cardio. Today, I really want to talk about a topic that I'm going to call cancel culture. Now, if you spend a lot of time on social media, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's all good. We're going to get into it in a little bit. I'll run through what it is and my opinion on it, obviously. So, just a few updates with my life and me. Everything is going great. Still trying to launch, in the middle of launching my business. I think it's the last day, today or tomorrow, of winter in Perth, which means spring is among us. I'm so excited for some warmer weather. Summer here in Perth is just like hot, messy, sweaty grossness, if that's even a thing. So spring is just really beautiful, clear skies. It's like warm enough where you can get away with wearing jeans and a nice cute t-shirt still without like sweating your box off, but it's really nice. It's just really nice to have the sun out. My clothes are drying in one day rather than a week when I hang them outside. So that's a positive for me. There's some bonuses in my life by the age of 27 is how long it takes my washing to dry. So awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to update you on. Everything is going great. I've been super busy with work. So the podcast and YouTube videos are lagging. But you know what? One of my subscribers commented on my YouTube video, bless his little socks, and was rooting for me. He was like, I know it's crazy busy for you right now, but like, don't forget about us. I love watching your videos. I was like, thank you. Like, I owe it to you, sir, to get my shit together and start uploading more frequently. I have a ton of footage. I just haven't had the time to sit down and edit. But you know what? I'm not about to sit here and make excuses. I want to get it done for you guys. So thank you, whoever you are, for making me accountable and pulling my finger out of my ass. So thank you. Let's get into today's topic. Cancel culture. So for those of you who really aren't on social media, what that means, or at least what my interpretation of cancel culture is, means someone does something wrong or something that the whole of the internet does not agree with, and they suddenly turn against them and cancel them, as in they try to debunk them, remove them from the platform altogether, make them irrelevant, and pretty much just say, we're no longer supporting you, we're no longer interested in you, we want to see you fail, we want to see you gone. I think there's a massive difference between like unsubscribing and then trying to cancel someone. If I can give a few examples, and this says a lot about who I follow on social media. Couple of examples. If you know who James Charles is, the internet tried to cancel him and he nearly was cancelled, but honey, he came back with receipts a fucking sap and stopped that from happening. But that just goes to show cancel culture, how quickly people jump on bandwagons and form opinions really quickly to try and cancel someone, just because I don't even know why people do it. I really don't. That's what I want to talk about today. But another example, which unfortunately this person has been cancelled, is Shane Dawson. So, look, he did and said some things that were questionable and cringy, and the internet is now aware of them and don't agree with the type of person he was 10 years ago, and he's now cancelled, which means nobody supports him, no one supports his channels, his makeup brand that he just launched. him in general as a person. If you check all of his social media, he hasn't uploaded in months. I can just imagine what he's going through mentally now that he's cancelled. But that is what cancelling is. Like, everybody just turns on you and you're cancelled. No one wants to see you online anymore. Nobody wants to support you. So that's just an example. I will get into my opinion of cancel culture and try to change people's outlook on things and their approach to things. I'm not necessarily saying your opinions are wrong, because everybody's entitled to their opinion. I agree that what has been said and done by numerous people that have been cancelled is unacceptable, just to make that clear. But it's more so our approach to thing and the toxic culture of cancel people just because of one mistake or a couple of things they've done wrong. Yeah. I think I'll go a little bit more in depth of what actually happened with Shane Dawson. So for anyone that doesn't know or doesn't know what cancel culture is, you have a better understanding of where I'm going to go with this and what my opinions are. So what happened with Shane? He is one of the biggest YouTubers online and has been doing YouTube. I think he's been doing YouTube for like 10 years. Crazy. So you can imagine, what times were like 10 years ago, what the internet was like 10 years ago, education, just things were very different back then. I'm sure we can all agree on that. What people knew about, what people didn't know about, people's education around certain topics. The sensitivity, I think, is very, very different, but I think sensitivity online is because we are more educated and we are more exposed to what's going on, if you will. So back then, he used to make skits and things like that online, and some racial comments were made, or like racial skits or insinuations around that kind of topic. Also I'm not going to use the word pedophilia because I don't think he's a pedophile. Again, people are quick to jump with labels. But he made some really uncomfortable, disturbing sexual comments toward a younger girl who happened to be Will Smith's daughter, when she was very young. So my outlook is, I don't think that he did that skit with the mindset of wanting to have sex with Willow's daughter or with Willow. Like, I'm not making excuses for people's behavior, because when you look at it now in 2020, it's like, that's fucking gross. And I think he even looked at that video now and was like, gross, why did I even do that? That's cringy. So my point here, what I'm trying to get, I don't want the lines to be blurred and you guys to think that I'm defending that behavior, because that's so not appropriate and it's not okay. Even Shane has said that. Like, I think if we only have the Shane case in our head, it's a little bit extreme. But if you think about anyone that's ever been cancelled online, like the only one that obviously really stands out is Shane, but also the James Charles case. Really think about why he was cancelled. One person made a video, Tati, with her opinion and her experience with this one person from I know it happened a while ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, I probably can't remember 100% what was said, but she insinuated a whole bunch of inappropriate comments that were made on behalf of James, and insinuated that he was using her for business, like to get ahead and in fame and things like that. But there's obviously more to it. But if you think about that one instance, the whole internet came crashing down and cancelled James based off of another person's experience or opinion, which most of it turned out to not be true anyway. But this is what I mean. Cancel culture is so toxic because everybody's so quick to just jump on the bandwagon and jump on somebody else's opinion, and right then and there in the moment, without any other explanation or hearing the other person's side, like, yes, everything you're saying must be true. That's disgusting. Let's cancel him. That's ridiculous. Like, first of all, you don't even know James personally. You have not seen or heard or witnessed any of this stuff yourself. But everybody is just so quick to jump on the bandwagon of cancel culture. And that's why it's so toxic, because it happens so quickly in such a big group of people online? What happened to people having their own opinions and not being so quick to judge? And like, I could probably do a whole other episode on how fucked up YouTube communities are in general, especially the beauty one. It's so toxic. It's like high school drama, but that's for another video. But obviously the example with Shane I used is pretty extreme, because there are components that he definitely should be held accountable for, in terms of, you know, sexualizing a younger female. Like, that's just not okay at all. Let me make that clear. But in general, if we think about anybody that's been cancelled on a wider scale, obviously there's different reasons for all of them, but listening to the rest of this, we should have other examples in mind. Shane's obviously gone down the hardest from what I can remember in cancel culture, so that's obviously the example I use. What is wrong with cancel culture is Shane is obviously not that person anymore, hasn't made content like that in fucking years, in forever. But someone, because it's like a hot topic at the moment and people are becoming aware of how present pedophilia is in Hollywood and just everywhere, and what's going on with sex trafficking, and people are being enlightened to some real serious shit that's actually going on, like the Black Lives Movement and what that stands for, and police brutality, and what different cultures have to go through. We are all being exposed to it. Therefore, when we see things that have happened in the past with people that we idolize or look up to, like Shane Dawson, for some people, it's upsetting and it's disturbing to think that they could not be involved with that stuff, but play around with that kind of stuff, if you know what I mean. So, something that he did many, many years ago was dug up and brought to light. A couple of things wrong with that. One, he's not that person anymore. He's grown. He's a different person. So I don't think we should base people and judge people as their identity and as their whole characteristics based off of one thing that they did a long time ago, right? If you can see that that person has grown and that person has changed, we should support that, and we should say, look, you did some pretty fucked up shit back then. Not okay, but I'm proud of, thank God you've changed and you've grown up and you've matured. I think everything back then was very immature, right? Second thing is, he has apologized. He's voiced that it was inappropriate, it was wrong, it's disgusting, it's whatever. He's apologized. Yet people are still like, that's not good enough. Like, this is who you are. I'm judging you right now in 2020 from some things, some weird shit that you said back in the day. I don't care that you've apologized. You're not this person that we've known up until now. You must be that person that did those things back then. And that's what I really hate about cancel culture is I don't want to use the word accountable, but we're being judged from a type of person we were back in the day, which it means that we're not supporting people's growth, or we're not supporting people acknowledging they made mistakes and acknowledging the person they were in the past, but how far they've come and the steps that they've taken to improve their lives or improve themselves as a person. We're just saying, it doesn't matter who you are now and how far you've come. I'm going to judge you just based off solely a couple of things you did back in the day that were inappropriate, and that's who I think you are now, which is disgusting because, one, we're not supporting people's growth, but two, I think it tells people, especially the younger generations, that they should be scared to express themselves. They should be scared to ask to be educated further. They're scared to be creative, get outside the box, be themselves in fear of judgment or being cancelled. How many times have you said the wrong thing just because you're actually uneducated? You don't know that what you're saying is offensive because you're not educated, or you don't know the cultural appropriations or what's wrong and what's right. I think there's a massive difference between someone intentionally being an asshole or a judgmental prick with the intention of hurting people and putting people down versus someone who's innocently just uneducated, maybe a little immature, and doesn't have that awareness of the impact of their words or their actions. I think there's a massive difference, especially with younger people. Imagine instead of cancel culture and being really quick to form a group and scrutinize someone and criticize them on their past behavior or current, imagine if we had conversations like privately. Hey, not sure if you're aware, what you actually said is really disrespectful or insensitive toward XYZ for the following reasons. XYZ, giving them a bit of education and helping them understand why. Here are some resources to educate yourself further. Please ask me any questions if you want to learn more or want to understand why you're being insensitive, as opposed to you're a racist or you're an asshole, you're so disgusting, like you're cancelled. Instead of being so quick to judge people and cancel them and tear them down, why are we not having conversations to educate these people and giving them the benefit of the doubt first to say, are you aware that what you're saying is insensitive or racist, or do you know what I mean? Like, if we've given people the benefit of the doubt and they are educated and they continue, then they're just a fucking asshole. And yes, they should go to jail or be cancelled or whatever the severity of the case is. But I think we should come from the point of view of, let me educate you further so that you don't continue this behavior or you don't continue this insensitive behavior or topics or whatever it is that they're doing. I think if people are held accountable, they should be held accountable for mistakes they've made in the past, but only to bring light of it, just to make sure that they fully understand and to make sure that they've changed now and they are a different person and they've grown and they're educated now, and to give them the opportunity, they should be held accountable to give them the opportunity to apologize if they did offend anyone or they did upset anyone. So we shouldn't really be digging around in people's past, because everybody makes mistakes. That's how you grow as a fucking person in life, and that's how you gain life experience. You fail, you make mistakes and you learn from it and you move on. So we shouldn't really be digging around in people's pasts. But in saying that, if we do and you stumble across something that you go, hang on a minute, they're not this type of person anymore, that should be your first response. Like, that's strange. They're not presenting any of these behaviors or characteristics anymore. I wonder if they're aware of what they did back then was inappropriate. Do you know what I mean? So if it does come to surface and it is brought up, it's good because it gives them an opportunity to say, hey, I apologize. I did the wrong thing. I wasn't aware. I was uneducated. I'm so sorry if I upset anyone. I'm open to learning more about this topic or how I can improve in this area, because I don't want to be that person. But that's what cancel culture does, is no one is going to have that mindset if they're called on something. No one is going to be like, yeah, you know what? I wasn't educated. I fucked up. Please let me know how I can make this better and educate myself. No. The response is just to jump offline, cancel all of their accounts, because they are getting bombarded with threats like, you're a horrible person. Think about the type of person they are now 10 years ago. They're being held accountable and treated like they are still that person. Does that make sense? Like, even if it's not a case of it happened 10 years ago and it literally just happened that day, still give them the benefit of the doubt that they're uneducated and they're not aware. I can actually speak from experience in this. I have a friend of mine who is a black female. We used to go out all the time, and I was in a group of friends, and I not made it fun of her hair, but I made a joke that included her hair because it was fluffy. And at the time, I made a joke of her hair, and she laughed. We were friends, and she continued to make fun of herself being the black person. But at the time, I didn't think at all that that could potentially be offensive to her. And I kind of get a little bit upset thinking about it now. But when the Black Lives Movement stuff was going on, I was reading a lot of articles and listening to a lot of like people in the Black community that were speaking on topics and educating people as to what's going on. And I was reading a lot about their culture and what they go through, and a lot of podcasts that I follow with Black females who are the hosts, they were talking about their hair and what's culturally insensitive or appropriate to talk about with a Black female's hair. And as soon as I heard that, this is probably 4 years later I heard it, and I still talk to this girl. I inboxed her straight away 4 years later, and I said, hey, you've probably forgotten about it, but I just want to say I'm so sorry about the jokes I made back then. And she was fine. She was like, honestly, it didn't even bother me, but thank you so much for actually taking the time to apologize and do your research. Like, I wasn't offended at all, but I'm happy that you're educating yourself further. It's a little bit upsetting because, again, if I can put myself in my shoes of myself 4 years ago, I didn't know that. I was just being funny. I thought I was just being funny, and no, it's not okay to make fun of someone, like make a joke at someone's expense, and I can own up to that now. But I had to apologize. I was like, I didn't know. Now that I'm educated, I probably can see how insensitive that was and so inappropriate towards your culture and you as a person. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, want to say I'm sorry. And she was fine. But imagine if I was, because that was on a vlog. I was vlogging with her and we went out in the city, and it was on my YouTube channel. This is like back in the day. Imagine if I had a really large following and people saw that and came after me and teared me down. Yes, I would have been educated back then, but I didn't know any different, right? And I'm not making excuses for my behavior, but that's how I can try and relate to people now that are being cancelled. As like, I've almost been through that without the following or the cancelling part though. Like, I have said some things, even not about Black culture or, you know, anything like that. I have said some things. Everybody says things, they're like, oh shit, shouldn't have said that. Like, but people don't get teared down just like because they're lucky enough not to be on social media and have a massive following. But like, I had the opportunity to be educated. Unfortunately, it was 4 years later, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's not my fault that I didn't know what I know now. So I'm happy that I now have that awareness and that education, and I'll never do that again. But that's how I can have empathy toward these people that are being cancelled, is because I know 99% of them don't have the intention to hurt people or be inappropriate. It's just like, I'm just not aware. I'm not educated. I don't know sensitivity around certain topics or like culture, or do you know what I mean? Like, just, I think people need to fucking have a break. Like, people need a break. I think cancel culture is just so toxic, and it doesn't support growth. It doesn't support change. If anything, it's just going to put people back in their box. People are going to be scared to ask for education or ask for help in fear of people going, well, you should just fucking know. Like, you should just know that that's wrong to say. No, not everybody knows. Like, I don't know. I'm not a very cultured person. Like, I don't know a lot. So yes, I could potentially still be saying things that are culturally inappropriate or offensive, but I have no intention of hurting people. I just don't know. And I would so appreciate if someone pulled me aside and said, hey, that thing that you said, did you know it's not okay and it's actually inappropriate because of these reasons, etc., etc. Like, can I help you be more educated, or go read this and you'll understand why? Like, I would appreciate that so much, because I love to learn, and I don't want to be offensive to anyone, and I don't want to hurt anyone. So why is that not the approach that we have today, especially with younger people? Like, the amount of younger people that are coming online, people that are doing TikTok and Instagram, half of them are still fucking in high school or just coming out of high school. Do you think they have any life experience? You don't learn about that shit in school. Like, what experience do they have? Like, they're all immature. Of course they're going to do shit they think is funny. So they have absolutely no life experience. I guarantee you none of them have fucking traveled the world backpacking or whatever way you learn about different cultures. Like, let's cut them a break. And the first approach should be, let me fucking educate you, little one. Not, you're disgusting, you're cancelled, you're a racist. Like, oh my God. If we were to ask ourselves, what is the point of cancel culture? Like, for what purpose are we trying to ruin someone's career and in some cases their mental health and life? Like, for what purpose? If it's something that isn't that major, like what happened with James, think about what cancel culture would have done for his life if he hadn't had the opportunity to defend himself and everybody was so quick to defend him. Like, that is what is wrong as well. Things can happen so quickly for people and it can be so damaging, but we don't think about that. It's all about, what's everybody else doing online? Let's jump in, let's fit in, let's all band together and be toxic and judgmental and horrible to people. Like, bullying is such a thing online, and cancel culture is a part of that bullying. I think that's all I want to say. So, times are definitely changing. And I say this with love, but times are a little bit more sensitive now because we're being woke. We're being enlightened to some real heavy shit that is actually going on in the world today that nobody knew about until now. So now that we have that education and awareness and we see other things going on or we hear different conversations and we're a part of different things, everybody's a little bit more sensitive to it because we know now. So let's just cut some people some slack, give them the benefit of the doubt, and let's just help each other be better fucking humans. Let's not go about our day with judgment and criticism for every single thing we see, hear, or do. Let's come from the other fucking end of the spectrum and try and go about our day understanding how we can educate people and help people and encourage people to grow and be themselves with no judgment. I can, hand on heart, say we're slowly becoming aware of things and being educated, so I think we should just fucking cut some people a slack, right? Hope I didn't offend anyone. I am definitely open to conversations on this topic, but you can find me on Instagram, YouTube. I'll leave all those social links in my description box of this episode. But you know what? Let's just be kind. Let's be kind to one another. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.